This game is being played with the Steamroller 2015 Incursion scenario. The scenario does not have the Killbox artifice. It consists of 3 flags. Each flag can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 1 CP. Victory conditions consist of 5 control points or caster assassination.
Hey guys, this is Solus. For this week's game, I will be playing E-Thagrosh the Messiah, or E-Thagrosh, and I've been trying to branch out a little bit with different lists that I've been playing with him. The 2 protectors, they're cheap shield guards. They hit okay, and if I really need to, I can load them up with Fury and then still be able to transfer to them, so hopefully they'll help E-Thagrosh not get shot to death.
Alright, Pokey here, and this week I decided to try Harkevich, his tier 2 wolf pack. Mostly because, you know, it's been a while since I played Khador. Figured why not? I get to bring out some Man of Wars and some Jacks, and of course the Winter Guard Death Star. So let's hope it all works out. Alright, I can't remember if I won the roll or lost the roll, but somehow or another I ended up going first. So I kind of positioned my battle group to where I'd be close to that wall with my caster, plus close to the zone, so I could hopefully control it, not knowing exactly where he's going to go. This list build was initially meant for another infantry style list, but sometimes that's just the kind of way it goes. You get a game set up and you're not exactly sure as to what your opponent's going to bring, so you kind of bring what you're hoping will work. And so we'll see how this one works out, because like I said, the list itself is designed more for infantry, or for going against infantry with all the AoEs and shooting and all the other happiness. So yeah, we're just we're hoping it's a hopefully good list.
So as far as deployment goes, I'm getting to go second, so that sort of influences where I want to put things. I do kind of enjoy going second a lot of the time, because it lets me start scoring first, but I find that with E-Thagrosh too, a lot of the times I like to go first because it lets me set up a bunker, or lets me set up to get a decent alpha with the feet. But since I'm going second, I mainly just distribute my my battle group more or less evenly. I put a Feralgeist on each flank, just in case, and I put my Fury support on opposing flanks.
So one of the perks to this tier is that I get to start with my upkeep spells in play, that I don't have to upkeep them on the first turn. So I have Escort up on Harkevich and Fortune up on the Winter Guard. Mostly because it gives me +2 armor for Escort and +2 speed on my Jack, so that's not a bad thing at all for Khador Jacks that are typically very slow. The Bombardiers, well, they're just running forward hoping to get somewhere, because they are slow. Speed 4, not the greatest, not the fastest, but eventually they'll get somewhere. The Jacks then activate, they run. Pretty much this whole first turn is going to be running to get into place, hoping to not be in a bad position for next turn, to where I can hopefully stall him from making any moves to earn control points. The Drakhun actually ran into the zone, hoping that maybe some countercharge action will take place. And now I'm on with Harkevich, and he's ended up casting broadsides to have Black Ivan try to have a lucky scatter, kill off maybe the some of the support pieces. I mean, it's a lucky scatter, but I had the focus and he couldn't reach me this turn, so figured might as well go ahead and try it, because why not? And then he advances up and gets base to base with the other Jack for girded. which means I'm immune to blast damage. So then Kovnik Joe goes. He moves forward up to be behind the skirt of the building there. I think he does, was it the Courage of the Forefathers? I think it is. Whichever one gives him Tough and Fearless. Because I'm imagining there's gonna, there could be potentially be some shots fired my direction. And then the Shocktroopers, they end up running forward to follow suit very slow.
Going into my turn 1, he's moved up fairly aggressively, but he has the one zone pretty much with the Winter Guard, and the other zone has both the Demolisher and Black Ivan, plus the Kovnik. So I need to more or less shift my focus a little bit. Need to move my heavy armor crackers to the flank with the majority of the Man of Wars plus the 2 Jacks and the Drakhun. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to even get things out of the zone. The other option is, of course, to just try and contest it with the Feralgeists and then push heavily for the zone that's only got the Winter Guard moving towards it. But it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I'm going to not really commit a whole lot this turn, preferably, and we will see where things go. So to that end, I do end up running a Feralgeist into the zone on my right flank. He's probably going to die because Harkevich is right there, but it's going to force Harkevich to move forward, maybe, hopefully, a little bit farther than he wants to be able to deal with it. Pretty much everything else just moves up or runs. I do throw out a lot of tenacities on the rake. I think both Scythians and a Seraph, and then E-Thagrosh moves up. He's got flight, so he can walk through the trees just fine. Pretty much this turn is just me setting up for my next couple of turns. I want to be able to threaten to contest the zones, or if everything works out properly, or, well, fingers crossed properly, I'll be able to actually get into a zone and start scoring. It's a lot of infantry to have to deal with, and once the Shocktroopers can start advancing and getting into shield wall, putting themselves to armor 20 means that I'm going to have a fairly hard time actually removing multiple Man of War shock troops in a turn, even if I have Manifest Destiny up. So pretty much everything else is just like I said, just moving up. I go ahead and walk wide with the Swamp Gobbers so that I don't have to take an Abomination check, and then I start moving up with the Protector so it can hopefully shield guard a shot if necessary. I'm pretty much using the forest as kind of a base right now, both for the concealment bonus and the fact that well, with the exception of E-Thagrosh, everything else can sort of charge through it. So I'm also using that to hide line of sight to my Fury support and my Spell Martyr. I like the Spell Martyr in this list just for the threat that it brings. I have not had very many opportunities to actually use it effectively. So, and then I finish off my turn moving my Feralgeist over, heading towards the right flank, anticipating that the Feralgeist already in the zone is going to die a horrible, horrible death.
I upkeep my 2 spells. Well, there's no reason not to. I then give one to Black Ivan. I think it's 2 I give to him, I'm not sure. And start my turn. He moved, Solus moved a little more on the defensive side than I expected him to. I kind of expected him to move a little faster up the field. I guess being a little more threatening due to the fact that he has the speed on me. He really does. You know, so I really kind of figured he would be a little more aggressive. So it kind of was a little shock. Kind of was a little shock to me. So I start with Harkevich first. And he casts Razor Wind at the Feralgeist. I knew he had a name. And pretty much leaves me with nothing. After upkeeps and casting Razor Wind, that was pretty much it. Then I go to activate the Jack, because I need to get the Jack over to hopefully block my way. Because I am rather close. I'm trying to figure out the distance he has that he can move with his beasts. I'm like, okay, well, with push and slipstream and everything else, it should be a little over 13 inches. So we're right at 13 inches or so for a threat range from the Scythean to get to my caster. So that's my thought. I'm like, okay, well, I'm outside of that. I should be okay. I then activate the Drakhun, advance him, maybe getting to like a counter charge position. Hoping I can, get it to where he'll be somewhat protected. Get the ability for a counter charge to potentially stop anything from coming at me. And then move up to 1 Jack for Girded again. Then I move up Black Ivan. Not too close because I really don't want him to charge me. And then I lob a shot over at, I think the Scythean. Not boosting it to hit because the to hit's already boosted when Black Ivan's with Harkevich. So I roll the dice. I hit, but then the, what that little guy is, takes the hit from Shield Guard. So I go ahead and boost the damage. And I think I do some points of damage, nothing too major. And then pretty much the rest of the army advances, like the dog comes up, also trying to stay with the girded Jack and protected behind the Jack so he doesn't get shot at or whatever can be done. Now the Winterguard activate. No, I think Kovnik Joe activated. I think he gave them Courage of the Forefathers again. Now they activate. They take the order to bob and weave, and mostly just to raise their defense. And then they start spraying stuff because, well, those kitty cats or whatever they're called, little dragon spawns, they have stealth, so I can't just CRA them because I am further than 5 inches with most of my guys. So rolling to hit, and of course they have tenacity up, so it makes it even harder to hit with what, Rap 5 or something like that. So sitting here spraying, trying to inflict some damage, but unfortunately not rolling well enough to actually hit. Very sad, I know. So they do their thing, mostly to flood the zone. Then the Shocktroopers activate. They advance to get into shield wall. And the Bombardiers, because they still don't have anybody really to shoot at, they're I believe they just run again. Because it's not like they're gonna... No, they just advance because I want to lob some AoEs out there hoping to hit something. And I believe it or not, I think that the scattering AoEs, although not good for beasts, are really good for infantry. So So yeah, so that's bad scatters, which is, it was, scatters are kind of the luck of the draw anyways, so it is what it is. Another scatter. And this one scatters over that way. And like I was saying earlier, the Bombardiers, they get a lot of bad rap because they're not very effective, which I kind of agree a little bit. I mean, they probably have their niche they fit into, but they're really cool looking models. So, and that's my turn.
Alright, going into turn 2. That wasn't terrible. I have a broken spirit on one of my protectors that I need to deal with, but other than that, I think I'm in fairly decent shape. The one thing that did happen is he did come forward to deal with the Feralgeist, which I think may have been a little premature, at least on his part. I think because I can't start scoring even with the even right now, because right now I can put more things in that zone anyway, so not a huge deal, at least on my part. But I do think I have an opportunity here, if I can get everything to work out properly. So to that end, I go ahead and move up with the Shepherd just to heal the Protector's spirit that was broken. Right now I'm looking at the Drakhun, trying to make sure that he can't countercharge me, because that would be fairly bad. So I eyeballed the distance, and I managed to get it right this time. I go ahead and charge with the Protector into the Drakhun, not expecting it to kill it or dismount it, but I go ahead and I'm mainly just trying to tie it up so it can't countercharge if it's engaged. So that is always helpful. So I go ahead and run with my Spell Martyr, trying to make sure that I get it within 8 inches of Harkevich. One thing that apparently a lot of people forget is the fact that E-Thagrosh 2 has Scourge. Granted, it does eat up your whole turn, or pretty much your whole Fury stack, because it is 4 cost. And to make sure it reliably hits, it's gonna be a 5 cost spell, because you want to have 1 to boost, just to make sure that you hit. So E-Thagrosh goes ahead and puts a Scourge into Harkevich through the Spell Martyr. I boost a hit, and I do manage to hit it, so that knocks Harkevich down. The Demolisher has Girded, so he wouldn't take blast damage, but it doesn't have Lash or anything like that to make Harkevich not be able to be knocked down, which is fairly important. So go ahead, boost the damage, put some decent damage into him, and we go with E-Thagrosh goes ahead and pops his feet, and then just sort of wanders forward a little bit. The feat is mainly for insurance purposes, just in case this goes horribly wrong. Beast can walk up after. The plan was to move run the Scythians up, and then have the feet kick in, and then punch Harkevich in the face. But just in case, go ahead and move up with the Seraph and try and shoot him. I do manage to get 4 shots on the strafe. Put all 4 shots into Harkevich. He's knocked down, so I need not Snake Eyes to hit him, and then I just boost all of my damage rolls. And at the very end, does take the full 4 shots, but I managed to shoot Harkevich down.
afterthoughts. Death by 1,000 cuts, never a good way to go. But then again, you know, what can you do when your caster has no focus and sitting on his butt? It was an interesting game. The game taught me that Bombardiers look nice, not quite too handy in this list. Probably could have used their points on something else that may have been a little more handy in the game. Winter Guard, I thought they did what they were supposed to do. They were flooding the zone. You know, would have taken quite a bit to clear them out, I think. Would they have been able to take out the lights over there? Maybe. Tenacity made them kind of tough to take out. I think on the lower zone had potential, still had some potential between his feet and all the other happy stuff that could potentially happen over there. Now, if he flooded the zone with all of his heavies, different story, but if he split, I'd have a chance. But it was still a good game, and hopefully we'll see you guys all next time. Thanks. Bye.